Karoline Leavitt proudly admitted to reporters this week that we're just going to stop releasing economic data because, it's pretty bad. She didn't, of course, admit that second part, but she did admit that a lot of the data is just probably, as she put it, quote, permanently damaged. Our ability to report the data, to analyze the data about how bad the economy is doing is, quote, permanently damaged because of those gosh darn Democrats and their Democrat shutdown. Even though Republicans control the entire federal government, the public overwhelmingly blames Republicans for the shutdown. The Democrats are responsible, and that is why you will never get to see that economic data from the last few months, and you may not even get to see it in the future because, as she said again, it's permanently damaged. I will read you her full quote in just a moment about how they're going to cover up the economic data. But first, a quick word from today's video sponsor. By now, you know Trump's big, beautiful bill has passed. But almost no one's reporting how ICE will get nearly $40 billion of our tax money each year, making it the most heavily funded law enforcement agency in U.S. history. That's more money than most nations spend on their entire military. So much of our media is either missing the worst of this bill or twisting the language so you think it's all in your best interest. But we've seen the ICE raids ramping up. Now Trump's openly threatening to deport U.S. citizens. This should be the biggest story in America, yet it's buried. Making ground news essential right now is what all of this is doing. They're the only tool I've found exposing these blind spots in the media. By gathering the world's news in one place, organizing it by story, then analyzing just how far right and radical each unbiased source actually is, you get way more context than you ever would anywhere else. If we're being honest, we've seen Trump's power grabs throughout history. They said never again, and that means never again everywhere. And right now, it's happening here. So if you want to stay ahead on immigration, the economy, or simply finding the stories missing from your news feeds, Ground News has you covered. Their app and website is a smarter, more reliable way to stay informed at a time when MAGA is banking on us to stay distracted. So I've partnered with them to get you 40% off the same Vantage plan that I have been using. That comes out to $5 a month for unlimited access to everything I've mentioned and so much more. Just go to ground.news/Farron or scan the QR code to subscribe. With at least another 4 years of this, we can't afford to miss these details. So here is word for word what Karoline Leavitt said about how this administration is using the government shutdown as a flimsy excuse to continue to hide economic data from us. Quote, "The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. All of that economic data released will be permanently impaired, leaving our policymakers at the Fed flying blind at a critical period." Why is the data permanently damaged, though? Right? I mean, everybody's going back to work. So just print out the numbers, do your math, and release them. Right? I mean, that doesn't seem too hard. We have had government shutdowns in the past, and do they cause delays in the release of data? Absolutely, because obviously if people aren't at work, they're not crunching the numbers. But you know what they do when they get back to work? They get back to work, and they catch up on the work that didn't get done while they were out. And then they release the data. But this administration doesn't want to do that. Oh, no, just forget October and the first half of November. We don't need that. Nobody needs that, even though I'm admitting that the Fed can't do their job properly if they don't have the data. But we're just not going to do the data. One, because it's going to show massive job losses, because we've already seen that for the last couple months. Two, it's going to show consumer prices rising. It's going to show consumer spending retracting due to the rising costs. And, of course, we want to blame it on the Democrats. So we're going to hide our data that we are more than capable of putting out because it makes us look bad, but by withholding it, we can try to make the Democrats look bad. Businesses across the country, some overseas as well, rely on this data. If we do not have accurate data about jobs reports, about income levels, about spending habits of consumers, then those businesses cannot make wise decisions about the future. They cannot decide on investments. They cannot, make decisions about should we hire more people? Should we lay off people? They can't make informed decisions if they don't have all the data. And Karoline Leavitt is out there admitting, even though we could put it out and we should put it out, we're not going to do it because they know how bad it is. And for the record, that wasn't the only massive blunder that Karoline Leavitt had this week. She also got on Twitter and bragged about prices in America coming down. Here's what she said. Prices are steadying and wages are climbing, new DoorDash report shows. Yeah, because when we're looking for solid economic data, we all trust the name DoorDash, right? I tell you, each month I am sitting on pins and needles waiting for the weekly or monthly DoorDash report to tell me how the economy is doing. I'm sorry. That that sounds like a Norm Macdonald joke, right? Like, yeah, we're all waiting for DoorDash to tell us. But of course, that's not even what the DoorDash report said. The DoorDash report actually said the opposite. It said, uh, food prices are rising. The average price of a cheeseburger, soda, and fries increased 3.8%. Typical restaurant meals rose 3.2%. So even DoorDash's report, which I guess is now how we're going to measure the economy, they're like, no, everything is going up. And this dumbass press secretary's like, see, everything's normal again. We're great. And she got busted with the community note on Twitter and then immediately goes out and is like, oh no, we can't release the data. Oh, shucks, that's so bad. She's just a professional liar, like a professional, horrible human being. And she loves it. Like she just has this dark pit in her soul where this is who she wants to be, out there lying to the American public every day, telling them, much like Trump himself, that they're not actually experiencing the economic pain that they are, in fact, experiencing every day. Scientists recently discovered a new evolutionary trait in puppies, and it's that they cannot grow up and reach their full potential unless you subscribe to this channel. Don't do it for me, folks. Do it for little Atlas and Judge here. Good boys. You do good. You want to say something? No? Okay.